Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome back to r/Petty Revenge, where the revenges aren't so serious and hopefully will give you a good chuckle or two. And hey, you might even learn something. My friends, I hope you're doing well today, and in this episode, we're diving into some petty revenge. There's gonna be a bunch of stories that I really enjoyed, and I hope you will too. As always, the stories will be timestamped in the description box below. I do hope you stay for the stories today, and hit that subscribe button for future petty revenge tales, my friends. Let's dive in. This first story is titled, Tricked My Mom into Finally Admitting That My Cooking Was Good. I've been enrolled in cooking school for over a year, and my mom, she's never been supportive. The reason being is because I dropped out of a nursing program to get into a cooking school. She's always making snide comments about how I should have been a nurse, or a lawyer, or how I'll only ever be a subservient housewife with this. When I do make something, she always criticizes it like she's Gordon Ramsay or something, saying, "Oh, too much salt. It's undercooked. It looks like crap," even though pretty much everyone else says the opposite. She's looking for any little thing she can critique about my cooking. She keeps telling me that I can't cook, and I need to get into a real career. I've cooked 3-course dinners for the family and always get positive reviews, except for her. She had a party for her work friends, and I made a whole tray of my homemade meatballs, a recipe that I conceptualized myself, my signature dish. Everyone kept going back and getting more, so many that they ran out. I asked my mom what she thought, and she said they were drunk, they couldn't taste anything. So I figured if I wanted to get her to compliment my cooking, I'd have to trick her. So I cooked her a meal, one of her favorites from scratch, her biggest weakness that she can never resist. I dressed it up to look professional and put it in a generic to-go box and had my boyfriend take a video of me preparing it from start to finish. I called her and told her that my boyfriend and I were eating at this diner that doesn't exist, and I even made up a fake name for it and everything. I told her they had her favorite meal and asked if she wanted us to bring her one. Of course, she said yes. I brought the dish and told her more about the fake diner, and she started eating it and complimented how good it was. She even said she wanted to go there and get another one. After she was almost through with the meal, I asked her for her honest opinion so we could write a fake review on Yelp. She went on and on for 10 minutes about how great it was, and then I sprung it on her. I told her that I cooked it, and her tone changed. She put the fork down and said she was lying, that it tasted like crap. My boyfriend showed her the video, and she Googled the restaurant and it didn't show up. She started pointing out flaws with the meals, like how there was too much sauce and it was really spicy and it burned her mouth. I asked her why she almost finished the whole thing if it was so spicy, and she didn't say anything. So I asked her if she was just ready to admit it. She said no, so we left, but I spotted her eating it from the other room. I asked her again and she laughed and finally told me yes, that I'm a good chef. So after a year of doubting that I was a good chef and holding my dreams back, she finally admitted it. Like, yeah, I understand that you're a little disappointed in your daughter for not going to nursing school or becoming a lawyer, but damn lady, at least be supportive of your daughter instead of cutting down every little thing she did. So, looking through the comments of the post, there's over 900 comments, with a lot of them not being very nice ones directed at OP's mother. So I'm just gonna say this. OP, your mom is mean. That's all I gotta say. This next story is titled, Scream at Me to Use My Air? Yeah, right. So, I was at a gas station putting air in my tire. This gas station required you to pay $1, but came with a pressure gauge. The gas station across the street had free air, but no pressure gauge. As I'm filling up my tires, a lady pulls up beside me and starts asking questions, like how much it was to use, how much time you get, etc. I answered her questions as best I could, but was really more focused on filling my tires since there was a time limit. The lady is still waiting there and getting visibly annoyed. This lady yells out, "Will you just hurry up? I'm in a rush." I was confused for a second, but quickly realized that she just wanted to use my time without paying. I did what any gentleman would do and proceeded to move slower. I pulled out of the spot and into a gas pump, and she almost hit my car swooping into where my car was. She jumps out, and as she puts the pump to her tire, the compressor runs out of time and shuts off. I guess I was smiling way too big because as she jumped into her car and sped off, she gives me the middle finger and swears at me. I was so pleased at how it all timed out that I didn't even care. It was such a great moment. Oh my god. So the comments in this post really killed me. This one guy says, "Next time, put another dollar in the machine and stand there spraying the sky for 3 minutes. Money very well spent." And this person says, "Spray your face for 3 minutes and just stare at her with a straight face that's being flapped around." Oh, some of you are freaking geniuses out there. This next story is titled, "Take my parking spot that I just dug out? Fine, I'll bury your car." This happened a couple of years ago. It had snowed a bunch, so I went out to clear the spot for my boyfriend at the time for when he got home from work. I spent a while digging it out, and as I was finishing up, some girl drove up and parked in it while I was still shoveling it. I told her that I just dug it out, intending to use it, and asked her to move, and she didn't. She then got out of her car and walked away. It turns out she lived 2 buildings down, so she normally wouldn't park there anyways. Our complex had a mini snowplow, and the dude was plowing in the area and saw this all go down. He helped me move all the snow from the pile that he just created and put it all around her car. We buried it up to the door handles on all sides. He then dug out a new spot for me. We saw her later trying to dig out her car, and it turns out she didn't have a shovel. So naturally, because I'm petty, I went out and reshoveled the sidewalk from the lot up to our building and threw all the snow on her vehicle while I did it. Then I went inside and took my shovel with me. I have a hard time understanding how inconsiderate and entitled people can be. If I was OP in that situation, I'd totally take some water and dump it all around her door and laugh as her doors froze. But I'm not OP, and I'd also never do that because I'm too nice. This next story is titled, "She kept stealing my washing powder, so I gave her dye." I don't mind when my roommates borrow my stuff. We've all been there. All I ask is that they replace what they take. You drink my milk? Just buy me a new milk. It's as simple as that. Unfortunately, my roommate doesn't seem to get this. She keeps taking my stuff, and when I ask her to please replace everything she takes, she'll buy one new thing and forget to do it the next time, despite having more money than me. I finally snapped when I wanted to wash my clothes, but only found an empty box that used to contain my washing powder. I don't buy fancy or expensive stuff, so I don't care about brands. After using the last of my powder a week earlier, she could have literally bought the cheapest no-brand powder in the world, and I would have been fine, and I just snapped. I had told her over and over not to use my washing powder if she wasn't going to replace it, and I just had enough. So I bought a new box of washing powder, some Dylon machine dye, and mixed it in with a bit of the washing powder and dumped it into the old box. When the dye is dry, it looks like washing powder, especially if you're not expecting it. I took my new box of washing powder to my room, and I waited. A week later, I came home from work and saw her laundry hanging outside, all with a mysterious pink color. She stomped up to me and demanded to know what I'd done. I told her that I was gonna dye my own clothes and that someone had told me the shade would be lighter if I mixed it with powder, which was a lie. I then asked her why she had used it when it had clearly been in a box with my name on it, and I had told her not to use it because she never replaced it. I don't think she believed me, but she finally got the message. She almost never takes my stuff anymore, and when she does, she's quick to replace it. Hey, sometimes people gotta learn the hard way. So there's a hilarious petty comment that I thought you guys might enjoy as well. This person says, "I had a flatmate that quite a few times took everyone's laundry off the clothes drying rack and would dump it in a pile just so he could hang up his own. After the 3rd time of coming home to a pile of wet laundry that smelled damp, I had enough. He didn't know that the rack belonged to me, and I was being kind to allow everyone in the apartment to use it. So I sold it. My office building had a laundromat, and I had a locker anyways. It was fun when he got mad and asked where the rack was because he had just done a load of laundry. I said I was strapped for cash, so I sold it. I ended up buying a new one a few weeks later and kept it locked in my room. He walked around smelling like old towels until he eventually bought his own. If someone's clothes are on a drying rack and they aren't dry, why the heck are you taking it off so you can hang your own clothes? Someone please explain this to me. How can people be so inconsiderate? This next story is titled, "Threaten My Family for Standing on Your Grass. Enjoy your fines from the city for your broken down garage." We live next to a large open grass field. There's an old house on the property, but it's condemned and no one lives there. The owner of the property only shows up to mow the field, but does nothing else with the property. The garage beside the house is caving in on itself, and it just looks like trash. People walk through the field to go fish on the river, walk their dogs, or just wander. A few days ago, we were outside playing with our dog and toddler. They were walking a few feet off our driveway, which is technically his property. He just happened to be driving by and pulled over and began yelling and was just overly aggressive. He yelled that we needed to stay on our own property. He accused us of tossing cigarette butts and beer cans all over the field. He also yelled that we drive all over his field causing mud puddles, and again, completely not true. He then pointed to our dog and complained that she needs to stay off his grass. Or else. This all happened within a few minutes. My boyfriend took the toddler and dog inside and came back out to try to talk to him and sort out these crazy accusations, but the guy had already left. We called the police to document the incident since he did make a threat. We're now looking into getting cameras and a way to get a fence set up. I've never been bothered by the house on the property. Not my business or my problem. But since he wants to be an ass, suddenly, I'm super bothered by it. So I called the city code enforcement office and filed a complaint. I said I've been seeing wild animals coming and going from the building, and I see kids walk through the field all the time, and I worry someone's gonna get hurt. I told him that all my neighbors are upset about this too. He now either has 30 days to demolish the whole thing, or fix it up, or he has to appear in front of a judge. The city will fine him severely, and if action isn't taken, they'll seize the property from him entirely. You want to scream at my family in front of my toddler and threaten my dog? I think you're gonna be a little too busy now, with the city breathing down your neck. Enjoy your fines, court costs, and construction bills. My friends, and this brings us to another end of r/petty revenge. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories today. And if you're feeling a little more than petty, check out the latest pro-revenge video, where OP helps evict a racist couple who's picking on an immigrant neighbor. If you're feeling like hearing some life-crumbling revenge, check out this nuclear revenge, where OP's partner cheats twice on him, and he obliterates her life. And I'll see you guys in the next one.